to start knitting. For casting on, I put the orange strippers in. These are used for double bed work, for ribbing and for jacquard, anything that requires needles on both beds where the yarn's going back and forth between the needles. I'm going to make sure that for this 1-1 rib cast on, I'm going to have the handle in the up position so that the needles are opposite each other. You can see that if I was to knit right now, that the needles would hit, so I'll be using every other needle on each bed, like that. So, put the orange strippers into the lock. I'm going to pick up the first color that I want to use, so I push the button down in front of the pink yarn here. I just bring the lock over, and you'll hear a little clunk as I spring this lever out. That allows the eyelet to pop up into a position where the holder can pick it up. So I go like that, and you see it's popped up, and then when I bring the lock back over, it picks up the yarn. So I'll just put a bit of tension in the yarn, and now I'll set up to do some knitting. I'm just bringing my edge clips in towards the middle. Using my orange ruler, I'll bring up every other needle on the front bed, and then the alternate needles on the back bed. I'll just place my edge clips so that the edge stitches will knit off properly. I'm going to zero my counter by using a little lever, and then I'm going to set up the stitch size on both beds to 1.5. I put the other buttons, the other indicator onto C, which is for circular knitting. Make sure that the levers are at N on both beds. I'll just tighten this up a little bit because it's a little bit loose now. So now I knit across to the left. You'll notice that the yarn is zigzagging back and forth between the two beds. I push my levers to the other side to engage the circular needle knitting, and I'm going to just move my stitch size up to 3 on each bed for the second and third row. I knit back to the right. You'll notice the back stitch is knitted. Now I knit back to the left, and the front stitches have knitted. I go back to the end position on both locks. I'll leave my stitch size at 3, and I knit back to the other side. Now every needle has knitted on this row, and that has completed my cast on. So now I can continue to knit. And I've found sometimes the first stitch on the right hand end will not knit properly, so I put a little bit of extra tension on that stitch, a little bit of extra weight, by making a slip knot in the yarn underneath, and I just hang my latch tool on it, and that puts just enough extra weight on that stitch to make sure that it knits off properly. If you're having trouble with this edge stitch, you could hang another latch tool or something similar just on the end like that, and that provides just a little bit of weight. You can see I just kept the open hook and hung it on the end.